Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Bricks and Dragons. We're here with Barry Arendt. Is that how you pronounce your name? Arendt? Arendt.
Arendt, Arendt, Barry Arendt. Yep.
Arendt.
You're close. It's all good.
He's the owner of ThinkEzIT. And so why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? Who's your customer?
So we are a small managed service provider. So our customers are small businesses that need help with IT services, everything from their email solutions, cloud solutions, phone solutions, new computer purchases, you name it. We pretty much take care of it or know somebody that can help them get to where they need to be.
Awesome. Yeah, having a computer and internet is important these days. So can you tell us, was there a specific moment where you decided to become a business owner, or what kind of motivated you to take the path of starting your own business?
Sure. So I work for, my background's both government and, so I guess the easiest way to put it, private and public sectors. So I worked with large corporations, enterprise level IT, and I worked in government IT, and every place I worked at, I always felt like a round peg trying to fit in a square hole. I just never fit. It never felt right. And I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, and growing up, my dad had his own business. Both my grandfathers had their own businesses. My one grandfather was a farmer. My other grandfather was a woodworker. So for me, it kind of, I guess it's in my blood. But I notice in today's society with in IT generally, there's a lot of IT businesses that really don't, in my opinion, seem to really care as much as I do. So I wanted to do IT differently, and that's where the name ThinkEzIT came from. Is we want to make IT easy for our clients. We want it to be easy on their budget. We want it to be easy on the support. And just make a nice easy place that they can call. So when they need something, we want to be there and get them taken care of. I'm not focused on money. I'm focused on solving problems. Money will follow. When you love what you do, the money follows. So every day I wake up loving what I do, knowing that I just have a path I want to go down, and that's what I'm doing. So
what brought you into IT specifically? Were you just were always the one who knew how to program the remote at home, or what led you led you down to that path?
That's a funny story. So and I'm very open about myself. Like when I was in elementary school through high school, I was in special education. I have dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. So dyslexia has to do with reading, dyscalculia has to do with math, and dysgraphia has to do with writing. So I can't read, I can't write, and I can't read handwriting that people give me. And I can do math, but only with, it's kind of weird. There's only certain types of math that I can do.
That's really interesting.
So when I was growing up, I was like, always told that I couldn't do this stuff. And I was in computer class, love computers. I even got kicked out of keyboarding class because they said I slowed down the class, you know what I mean? But I always loved computers. My brother was really into computers, and I had a friend of mine that was, in the 80s that was really into computers. And I just started learning and really liking it. And so long story short, when I got laid off, I used to be a press operator. And when I got laid off, I was looking for a job. And I was just one of those guys that just kind of knew how to set everybody's internet up back in the dial-up days. And there's a job opening for a small ISP in the area. And I emailed them a resume, and they called me in because they're so surprised that I actually used email to send a resume. Most folks were faxing them in or just send them in the mail. I actually put mine in email and sent it in, and they interviewed me. And I told them when they're interviewing me, I was like, listen, I said, if you hire me, I said, give me a month. I said, let me prove myself. If I'm not what you're looking for, in a month, you can kick me out the door, can me, whatever. So that whole time, was, so while I was working there, there's people because I always ask questions. I always wanted to learn how to do stuff, and I wanted to do a better job. So while I was there, people were putting applications on my desk to go work at McDonald's and stuff. They said, oh, when the boss gets back from vacation, you're out the door. So long story short on that, when the boss got back, I was packing up my box and he called me and he asked me what I was doing and I told him the whole story and he said, "Hey," he goes, "as far as I'm concerned, you can have a job here as long as you want." He goes, "You may not be able to solve the problem the first time or the second time, maybe the third time, but every time the customers call back in, they want to talk to you. And it's because you're nice to people and you know how to deal with people." He goes,
That's
"I
a
can
great
teach you
story.
tech, but I can't teach these techs how to do customer service." So that was the first time that I was like, man, I really like this field, So
Hmm.
that's kind of how I broke into it. I just followed my dream and my passion of what I've always wanted to work with. I always want to work with technology. So, and just from working at all the different companies I worked at, I gained a lot of knowledge. Now I've been doing IT now for about 26 years. So, over the years of working, you just really gain a lot of knowledge and gain a lot of good resources and other folks that do what I do. You can always bounce ideas off each other and things like that. So I found that's kind of how I got into it. I guess is the easiest way to explain it. So,
No, that's a great story. And like, so I want to ask a follow up to that. And we'll replace this question with this follow up. Is a lot of times, there seems to be a lot of mystique around entrepreneurship nowadays, and it's interesting that I know in my life I got a lot out of working for other people, and it sounds like you did as well. And a lot of people just want to come, right out of high school or right out of college and be an entrepreneur. I'm curious, if you have advice for those people, or do you think it's important to work for someone, or do you think the only way to learn how to run a business is by doing it? So start as early as you can. What's your thought on that kind of debate there?
um, I think everybody's different. Everybody has a different drive and a motivation and a different passion. It depends on the type of business you're getting into. Me personally, I like to work with somebody that does what I want to do, so I can learn how to do it. Because I don't want to go. I do like constructive criticism. So if I'm doing something wrong, and one of my colleagues sees that I'm doing things wrong, I like for them to tell me like, "Hey, you're not doing this right. This is how you really should be doing it." I don't want to go through life doing it the wrong way. Um, so yeah, I think it really depends on the type of business they're going into. As long as they're willing to accept the constructive criticism as they're going through it. That's a hard thing for a lot of people to take. Me,
Hmm.
I like it. I love it. I love it when people say, "Hey, you can do this a little better, do that a little better. Here's how we would do it." And I do the same thing for other people. I'm not there to put them down. I'm there to say, "Hey, you could do it this way. It might be a better way to do it." Um, so yeah, I think apprenticeship is the word. I think if you're looking to get into one of the trades, do an apprentice under somebody that's been doing it for years,
Yeah,
and
you don't want
maybe,
to start plumbing by yourself.
yeah, exactly. Like maybe work with other people, multiple type of people, apprentice under multiple other people, just to see how everybody's doing things.
Yeah,
And then that way you can learn your craft and grow from it.
yeah.
So I think it really depends. I mean, there's some folks that that get out of high school. They're just super smart. They're geniuses. They know what they want to do. They know how to do it. They know how to code. Definitely follow your dream, follow your passion.
I like that. I
It's
like that a
not
lot.
it's not an easy road. So
So here we ask you about your greatest superpower or your greatest super weakness, but just one. So you got heads, which is your superpower. So what's your superpower? And you get +2 at the end when you there's some
oh,
chances to win money to invest in other small business owners. So what would you say your greatest superpower is?
I think my greatest superpower is, and I will say it is having dyslexia. Um, uh, that is a superpower in itself because a lot of dyslexics see things very differently, and I like to bring a lot of attention to dyslexia because a lot of folks, like when I post on Facebook, for example, people will criticize what I write and how I spell it, sometimes how I pronounce my words or things of that nature. But I think the superpower is being dyslexic, and what I can do with that is I can see I can see things totally different than how I see the world a different way than a lot of folks, And to me, it's a gift and a superpower because, yeah, I may not be able to do these other things that a lot of folks can do, like reading. They can read a book in a day. It would take me a month to read a 35-page book. That's why I use uh, audiobooks, because that way I can
Hmm.
retain it. But no, I think that would be my superpower is the
Yeah.
is the
I've been
gift.
fortunate enough to work with a lot of people who have dyslexia, and I agree. It's good to have skills that no one else has.
I consider it
Uh,
a gift. I traded in for nothing else, man. It's a hard road, but I got there.
that's awesome, and I hope that inspires a lot of people out there. And then, how do you know when it's the right time to grow your business versus hunker down and just maintain what you have or optimize what you have? How do you know when it's time to bring on another person or kind of get ready for the next stage of growth?
So one of my clients that I work with, that they grown substantially, he always gives me the advice: slow to hire, fast to fire. That's And not because he likes to fire people, but because you want to you need to bring the right mixture into your team. When you're bringing people aboard in your business. But with that being said, um, I think whenever you get to the point to where you're not able to give your clients the attention they deserve. So if you're at the point to where you're not able to get back to your clients in a proper amount of time to meet their needs, that's when you might want to start looking at okay, I need to either hire a part time or hire a full time person.
Yeah,
Um, and then you got to figure out how much can I do on my own and how much can I not do on my own. So when you figure out, hey, once I hit X amount of clients, and I know, so it's you got to kind of figure out how much time you need to spend with client depending on your craft. You need to figure out how much time you spend with one client, and depending on what their needs are, is depends on how much when you need to hire somebody. I guess it's
yeah.
hard to explain, but
No,
you just need to
I
kind of
like that. I used to
balance.
have a mentor who used to say, time wounds all heals. So anyone can make a good impression in the first interview, but if you meet with someone a few times, it's harder to kind of keep up a ruse about who you really are, over a few meetings.
Yeah, the
Um,
easiest way I can put it is time management. So once you got your time management skills down to where you need it to be, once you can make the best use of your time, and then from there figure out how long am I spending with each client for these particular needs of whatever your craft may be. And when you get to that point to where you're not going to be able to have enough time for your client, then that's where you need to look at bringing somebody in to help you out, and then grow from there.
Yeah, awesome answer. And do you have any tips for other owners? Obviously, it's a stressful job, staying mentally and physically healthy, like maintaining. I hate the word balance because I feel like I really don't like to be told when to work, when not to work.
So
But it's also important to not burn out and stay healthy.
yeah. So I'm the one person to ask for that because I kind of like, when you come to the I hear a lot of people say life and work balance type of thing. When you're an entrepreneur, you're married to that business. So your business is part of your life, and your balance is your business. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, work out, eat healthy. When you're stressed out, go for a walk, get away from the office. Those type of things are what you need to do. Me, like I said, my friends and my family that know me, I'm a workaholic. I grew up on a farm. So I'm conditioned to do it. Like I will work 24 hours straight sometimes if that's what I need to do to get a job done. It doesn't phase me. It's just, when a client needs something done, I'm going to make sure it's done, and if that means I don't sleep that night, that means I don't sleep that night. But that isn't healthy and that isn't good advice. I know that, but that's me personally. That's how I am.
No, that's we're all about the truth on Bricks and Dragons.
I'm just hungry. That's the easiest way to explain it.
So
I'm hungry
here's
and I love what I do.
so this part you give advice to your younger self in only one category, and we roll a dice to get there. So you got a 4. So if you could give your younger self advice on like strategy and goal setting, or something you knew about setting goals that you know now that you didn't know before, what would kind of your advice be to your younger self on that?
If I can go back to my younger self, I would tell myself, you need to pay attention more in school, and you need to pay attention to, you know, to do goal setting, pretty much like, where do you want to be in the next 5 years? Where do you want to be, setting those milestones, I guess the easiest way to explain it. If I can go back to my younger self and be like, hey, there's great things ahead, just set milestones and start working towards goals instead of, thinking that the world's out to get you. You got to make the world what it is, and you need to
Yeah.
set the goal to do that.
So I definitely respect that. So this is we're toward the end here. So this is where we roll a 20-sided die.
I
And
love this. This is really cool. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons a lot. I love this. This is really neat.
Awesome. I love that you love it. So tell me when to stop, and we'll see what number you get.
All right, stop.
All right, you got a 3. So you got a 3 plus 2. So you got a 5. So the dragon eats you, but you're one of the first. We're gonna bump you up a point for being such an awesome guest, and we'll send you $25 to invest in another small business owner on the platform, on the My Venture platform. And that's it for this edition of Bricks and Dragons. And tell people where to find you if they need IT services or hardware. Where can people find you so that they can so you can help them?
Easily, just go to my website, ThinkEzIT.com. Our phone number's there. You can text our phone number, our 800 number. You can text it, call it. You can send an email to us. Everything's right on our website. We try to make it really easy for people to navigate and be able to get a hold of us. That would be the easiest way. And I also encourage you, please look at our reviews on Google and Facebook. We're holding almost an 85-star review on Google, and Facebook we have a 5-star review at like 130, something like that. So
awesome. And we'll put a link up there when we post this as well. Thanks. So then thank you so much for your time.
I really appreciate it. Thanks, Jason.